Hello everyone, UK Goosebumps here, and this is going to be Goosebumps Price Guide Part 2. There were some books that I thought I missed out or needed to include in the last price guide, so this is why I'm making this. So let's get straight into it. So the first book we're going to be talking about today is Special Edition Goosebumps book number 7, Trick or Trapped. So this book is rare because it's part of the GYG Special Editions, obviously. All of the GYG Special Editions are quite expensive. They're one of the rarer Goosebumps books, obviously the series-wise. So they're the ones to look out for. I know I mentioned a few in my last price guide. But I definitely missed this one over a lot because at the moment it's going for like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Cheapest one on eBay right now I think is $93. So I'll show that by there. And then all the others right now are going for around 100, 120. So, you know, quite expensive. If it is first edition, obviously it will be more valuable, but people don't really tend to look at that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you find it under 100, probably worth picking up. Definitely one of the rarest. I would say definitely the rarest part of the special editions GYG. So yeah, definitely pick this one up if you see it at a very cheap price. You can find it on eBay, loads of listings. Maybe Abe, I know they had a few on there. Thriftwood, so check on those and look for like deals and stuff like that. But yeah, it's normally quite expensive. I know someone did find it on like a Walmart clear out book sale section. Someone told me once for 80. So you can look out in like clearing sections and of book sales and stuff. Okay, so these books next are gonna be quite weird books. These are the Horrorland mini booklets. I have a picture right here. So this is the Night of the Living Dummy one. As you can see, not Night of the Living Dummy, Revenge of the Living Dummy. As you can see, they're just shrunken down versions of Horrorland books. And these were basically given out on a special event. I'll put the ad for it here. At Halloween time to kids, the first 50 kids under the age of, I think it was 12 or 11, who got to certain locations. I think there was Ryan's Buffet, something like that. There was Popeyes, and a few others that I haven't heard of before. The first 50 kids that got there got these little booklets. I'll show you the back of them. See, it has the name of the restaurant underneath and the side of them as well. As you can see, they're just shrunken down mini versions. They did 4 of these. So the 4 that they did were the first 4 in the Horrorland series, and these basically can go for what people are willing to pay for a mini booklet. You don't really see them listed that much, but if I had to guess, it would probably be like 10 per booklet maybe, depending on who's selling. I know Completionist managed to get like all 4 for like 20 or 10. I'm not really sure the exact price, but I know he got them for cheap, so they're not necessarily worth that much, but they are quite rare, as in they're not easy to come by, and it's quite cool that they did these. So yeah, definitely look out for these. They just look like smaller versions of the Horrorland books, and you can tell if they're the mini ones by the back of them. It'll say the name of the restaurant. Okay, so these next books we're going to be talking about is kind of a mini series. They don't follow from each other, but it is sort of a series. So it is called the Haunted Library series. As you can see here, it comes in sort of like a cardboard like cover house kind of. It's in the shape of like a haunted house, and it opens up like this to show all 3 books inside. Now the 3 books are Don't Make Me Laugh, Halloween Game, and Bad Dog. I haven't heard much about them. I don't know if they're very good or not. But yeah, they're pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure they were promo items in stuff like Hershey's and Cheetos and stuff like that, I believe. Yeah, so pretty cool little piece of memorabilia. Now, the actual pricing for these, because they're very rare, especially to get in good condition with all 3 mini books and the cardboard house to put them in, you're talking anywhere from $200 to $400. As you can see, looking through these listings, there's very limited listings on eBay, and the ones that are listed are very expensive, especially if you want to get all three. So definitely something to look out for, but again, highly unlikely that you'll find it for a cheap price. So this book now is going to be the easy reader's copy of Stay Out the Basement. Since I've recorded this, a few other copies have popped up, so I just had to redo this segment. But this is basically what the book actually looks like. I'll show up a few other pictures of the book now. And I'm pretty sure there's bits taken out or shortened down bits or just simpler in general because it's made for younger children because it's an easy readers. A few noticeable things about this is obviously that the contents might have changed a bit. The back of the book is different. The cover, most noticeable thing about this whole thing is that the cover is completely different. So that's really interesting. And the ISBN number. But other than that, there's not a huge amount to say on it. I'll show you the listings now. There's quite a few on Abe, but obviously that's a UK restricted website technically, so it might be difficult getting it to the US. And there's a few on like Chinese and German versions of like eBay and stuff, so you can try your luck, but it might cost a bit shipping if you're in the US or out of Europe. I'm going to stop filming now because it's getting quite late, but I have time for one more book, and this is going to be the Parent's Guide to Kids TV Fox Kids magazine, and as you can see it has a Goosebumps logo in the top right corner. And what makes this interesting, as technically a Goosebumps book, or a Goosebumps story at least, is a book in this, or story as I should say, called The Homemade Monster. Now this was written by R.L. Stine, and it says it's an R.L. Stine book in there, technically making it a rare Goosebumps book. Now, prices for these aren't maybe as expensive as you thought they would be. They range from like $12 to $7, but it's not necessarily about the price of the thing. It's about like how obscure it is and stuff like that. But yeah, not many people know about this. So there's actually a unique Goosebumps story that's not in a Goosebumps book or really a Goosebumps related item at all. It's just slap bang in a magazine. But yeah, definitely look out for Goosebumps logos like this on anything. There are a lot more magazines with rare Goosebumps stuff hidden inside, like board games, like the Carswell board game, for example, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, definitely look out for this. Inexpensive and pretty cool. So yeah. Okay, so this next book that we're going to be talking about is the Goosebumps Halloween Special magazine. Now, this was a magazine that was only released in the UK. And as you can see on the front, it says like there's free face paints and there's like a thing attached on the front. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but it might be the face paint, so I'm not too sure. But basically, what was in this magazine was a short story. I'm not exactly sure the name of the short story, but after some research that people did on pointhorror.com, they figured out that it was actually referenced to another magazine that was released in another country in a different language. I'll put some pictures of it now. And the story that was in the UK one was the translated version of ones from those magazines. So technically the other stories in that foreign magazine could be classed as Goosebumps stories. I think that's how it works anyway. But yeah, thank you for mentioning this Goosebumps Completionist. Big shout out to you. But yeah, definitely look out for this one. So after doing some digging around on eBay and online, I managed to find this listing going for £6.50. Well, it sold for £6.50 a few months ago, 29th of July. And I don't think the person knew the value of this because I've talked to Completionist and he said he knows someone who bought a copy for actually £160. So it's definitely worth a lot more. I'm going to scroll through some of the images now. As you can see, here's one of like a multiple choice question page. Some pretty weird questions. And here's another one of like a little comic strip and another kind of mini page. But yeah, the value is definitely a lot more than people think. And I think this guy basically ripped himself off. Okay, so the next book is going to be the Goosebumps Sneak Preview booklet. So I know you might be thinking, you talked about this last time in your price guide. It was one of the big, like, most expensive things. Well, we've just got confirmation, basically, of how much it basically is worth. So I've tried looking for listings and stuff before, but they haven't popped up because eBay listings go after a certain amount of time. So I managed to find this listing. Well, we all collectively found it. Gooses for Dummies made a post about it. And then it just disappeared one day. So I was looking around on eBay, putting it into sold. So I put it into sold and this popped up. It's sold for $1,000, or $998 989 to be exact. But yeah, so we know the value of this is confirmed to be 1,000 or higher, basically, which is absolutely insane. And also another good thing about this is we got a review from the guy who bought it. I'll put the review by here. You can read that for a minute. And while you're reading that, we managed to get some more images as well. So these are the images here. As you can see, inside we have a sign is signed by R.L. Stine. I'm not sure if this is printed or it's actually signed by him, but I'm pretty sure all the copies I've ever seen have actually been signed. So it's probably printed on, but it could be that they're all hand signed, which makes it even rarer. And then also you can see that it says like enjoy Halloween and stuff like that, and there's a picture of R.L. Stine. So yeah, pretty cool. And fun thing about this book is, well, not really a fun thing, a cool thing about this book, it doesn't have an ISBN of what I know about it. I've not been able to find any images with it on, and I believe it's just a smaller version of literally the Tales book. But yeah, I just wanted to update you on that. Okay, so this next book we're going to be talking about is an interesting one, because it's not part of a spin-off series, it's not part of a standalone book. It's actually part of one of the more recognisable series, Series 2000. And the book specifically that we're going to be talking about, which you can probably guess if you've been collecting Goosebumps for a while and know the rarities, basic rarities of books, is going to be Slappy's Nightmare. So obviously this has always been a rare book. You would have known this if you've been collecting for a while. But recently the price has spiked up and it's got even rarer. And I think this is a great opportunity to show you the kind of scam side of Goosebumps. Kind of the scammy side, I guess. Anyway, so I'll give you some examples here. So normally, right now, there are 2 copies that I found that are going for the cheapest. And these are one on eBay, which is going for around 80 to 90, I think. Okay, so let's just pause by here for a second. So this is why you got to be careful buying on eBay and stuff. So after I checked the ins and outs of this listing, I actually found out that it was actually fake. This is why you always need to check. It was pretty obvious on this one because it was actually listed in the title, but you just got to be careful when you're looking at stuff on eBay and stuff like that, in case it is an Indian copy. As you can see, it says it in the title, but it wasn't very obvious considering it was in the title. So just be careful when you're buying stuff, because even I didn't notice. As you can see, I had to refilm that segment because I kind of messed up there with the Indian copy kind of thing. Anyway, as I was saying, there's a few definite ones I know on Abe that aren't Indian, I think. Here's a few listings, as you can see, they're not new condition, but at the same time, you've got to be really careful because you don't want to spend this amount of money, as you can see, and then it come as a scam. So yeah, just be careful out there, but this is definitely an expensive book, probably anywhere from, I'd say anywhere from $80 upwards. Obviously, there's a limit where you have to stop. I would say maybe 100 is probably the limit. I'd say 80 to 100 for this book. So yeah, definitely a rare one to check out and definitely find it if you can. It's pretty difficult though. So this book is probably the most obscure and little known book on this list. I guarantee you more than half of the people who are watching this video right now will not know this book unless you are in some of the group chats and stuff. You wouldn't know this existed. This is a special version of Welcome to the House. Now, it's a special version because it's not actually an official version. It was never officially released. It doesn't have an ISBN. It was actually a promotional book with a separate cover, but it has the entire Welcome to Dead House original story printed inside, with the covers different. And it was actually, an author used this and sold it alongside their other book as a promotional thing. So technically, what they did was illegal. I don't know the author's name. Even if I did, I probably wouldn't say it because, and Completionist, thank you so much for saying this to me. I want to say a big thank you to Completionist for all this information because I need to tell you where I got my information from. So thank you very much, Completionist. So really weird book. It was done by an author. I don't know the name, and I wouldn't say it anyway. But yeah, very interesting and probably a lawsuit happening if R.L. Stine knew about this in the 90s. Okay, so these next books are going to be categorized in a pretty niche category that you think would be more popular but isn't. So they're Goosebumps misprints. So these are books that are misprinted or has an error in the book in any way. For example, it could be because a section of the book is cut off at the bottom. It could be because the front cover has a different color. It could be because the book is thicker than usual. or it could be because the pages are not put in right, or any of these reasons. Anything wrong with the book, it counts as a misprint, anything abnormal. And since I've done research on this in the last few weeks, a lot have changed. So there's been a lot more listings on eBay. There was one for a Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes copy, a modern book, and the reprinted version. And as you can see, the bottom was cut off. That's sold. I think it only sold for about 10 to 12. It wasn't that much. But then stuff like this Purple Peanut Butter book, they can sell for a little bit more, I think, depending on what the seller wants to. They're not necessarily super rare, but there's only 5 known to existence in this misprinted in this specific one. And then you've got stuff on eBay like this Monster Blood book, and the Monster Blood book is actually inverted, the cover, and it's a hardback, so that makes it even rarer. So they're going for 150. Is it necessarily worth that much? Probably yes, because it's a hardcover. And if it's a hardcover and it's misprinted, then maybe that's why. Maybe hardcovers have more misprints than the paperbacks. Who knows? Because there are 2 hardback listings right now. And there's also one for The Ghost Next Door, I believe, because it has Monster Blood at the bottom or something like that. But yeah, pretty interesting. So yeah, definitely keep your eyes out for unique things like this, and because they might be worth quite a bit. Okay, everyone, that's going to wrap up this 2.0 price guide video. We're all done. So thank you for sticking around. If you're seeing this message at the end, you've obviously stuck around and watched the whole video, or you've skipped through. Anyway, thank you for watching. Comment I love Slappy if you've watched up until this point. And also comment if you want me to do a part 3, because I think I have enough books and enough stuff to do on part 3. And comment if you want me to do a price guide on merch. I need to learn some new stuff about merch, so yeah. Anyway, thank you for helping me completionist, and also thanks to Minnesota fan for mentioning Slappy's Nightmare. Big shout out to those two, and yeah, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, good night, good day, good morning.